Hello and thank you for joining us on this busy Thursday evening. I'm Josh McLean. Coming up, greenhouse gases at an all-time high, a lawsuit filed against Kellogg, anti-vaccine protests in New York City, and a look at your week's weather. All this and more as PS News starts right now. Here's what's happening around the world. COVID-19 was likely spreading around the United States and Europe before we realized it. A new study says transmission of the coronavirus was likely occurring in several areas across Europe and the United States in January 2020. Many infections could have gone undetected. The study is based on a model of COVID-19 transmission during the first wave of the pandemic. The model's findings, originally released last year, were published Monday in the journal Nature. Researchers looked at data from the continental U.S. and 30 European nations, along with information on airline transportation and other travel patterns. The model suggests that local spread of the coronavirus was happening in January and February last year, when testing for infections was limited. The researchers estimate that by early March, only 1 to 3 in 100 coronavirus infections were detected by surveillance systems. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported the first COVID-19 case detected in the United States on January 21, 2020. The first case confirmed in Europe was detected on January 24, 2020 in France. A new United Nations report says greenhouse gases in the atmosphere have reached a record high. According to the World Meteorological Organization's annual greenhouse gas bulletin, the concentration of carbon dioxide was 149% higher in 2020 than before widespread industrialization. The last time CO2 levels were this high was 3 to 5 million years ago, when it was up to 3 Celsius degrees warmer and water levels were up to 20 meters higher. The current trend puts us on a road to far exceed the 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius temperature increase limit set by the Paris Agreement. The report found that while the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a temporary decline in new emissions, it did not impact the amount of greenhouse gases already in the atmosphere. That number is continuing to increase. The findings come less than a week ahead of the COP26 climate talks scheduled to begin Sunday in Glasgow, Scotland. This is what the vineyards look like in La Palma in the Canary Islands, Spain. Some might think that it's a snowy landscape, but in reality, they are postcards that emerged from the eruption of the volcano Cumbre Vieja. The ash has engulfed the island's plantations. The images were released by the Wine Regulatory Council in La Palma. The council is evaluating the damage caused by the eruptions that began on September 19th. Indications are that more than 100 wine growers were affected. The agency said that in addition to the destruction of the crops, the volcano has left great emotional damage to vineyard workers. And now let's take a quick look at this week's weather.
Thank you, Josh. I'm PS News meteorologist Jason Lynch. Let's take a look at your North Country weather. The highs around Owl's Head, New York is 55 degrees. And as we go to Vermontville, same again, 55 degrees. And now let's take a look over here as we go to Dannemora in the low 50s. And now same here in All Sable, low 50s. Plattsburgh is also in the low 50s. And St. Albans is 56 and over here is 57. And now let's take a look at the 5-week forecast. So Friday we got a nice low temperature of 50 to 52 degrees and a little bit cloudy. Saturday and Sunday, bring out your umbrella as we got, for Saturday we got high 40s and Sunday we got mid 50s. Monday we got a little bit of cloudy weather but no rain today as we go into low 50s, and Tuesday we got more rain, so bring out your umbrellas again as we got high 49s in the temperature. That's all for the weather outlook. You will take a short break and then come back and we will take a look at the news around the nation.
Jump on in and fly high with the Cardinals only at Memorial Hall.
Welcome back. Here's tonight's national news. A New York woman is suing Kellogg over the fruit filling in its Pop-Tarts. The woman filed the lawsuit against the company in New York last week. According to the lawsuit, the advertising on boxes for their strawberry Pop-Tarts are misleading because the filling uses less strawberries than expected. The complainant says the pastry contains more pears and apples than strawberries. The lawsuit calls for a jury trial and asks for over $5 million in damages. The lawyers representing this case are also representing an Illinois woman who sued Kellogg in August and who makes similar allegations. Kellogg has not commented on the lawsuits. Black gold is continuing its spectacular recovery. Oil topped $85 per barrel for the first time in intraday trading since 2014. That marks a 13% jump in oil prices this month alone, and a 120% rise since this time last year. The turnaround is remarkable for a commodity that was trading at negative prices less than 18 months ago when suppliers ran out of space to store it. A global energy crunch is similarly impacting the prices of coal and natural gas. The average price Americans are paying for a gallon of gas now stands at $3.38. A year ago, it was $2.16. The price of oil is highly influenced by output rates determined by OPEC, which is the world's largest cartel. A popular show on Netflix is causing debate in New York over what is an appropriate costume for kids. 3 New York schools have banned students from wearing costumes based on the Korean drama Squid Game. Tony Aiello reports.
Squid Game, a Korean survival drama about people in debt hoping to win a bundle of cash competing in kids' games. Losers are eliminated, literally. The body count is high, the violence is graphic, which is why 3 elementary schools near Syracuse, New York, are banning Squid Game costumes, which mostly consist of jumpsuits, tracksuits, and masks for Halloween events, saying they do not meet our school costume guidelines due to the potential violent message aligned with the costume. I spoke with 5 parents here in the Bronx, and every one of them thought those upstate school leaders were overreacting.
Just a costume, just don't let your kids watch the show.
So for a school to actually impose that, that's being very overbearing.
The superintendent in White Plains tells me Squid Game costumes won't be banned there, calling it a slippery slope. For example, historically, pirates were violent outlaws.
We understand that different types of costumes, sort of have different types of experience and historical connections. It's hard to single out one particular type of costume and say that's not allowed.
He says the bigger issue is kids who've seen or heard about Squid Game mimicking the show.
One of the things we've been hearing about in school districts all across the country is children coming to school and playing Squid Games on the playground. It's never appropriate to play at harming one another, and that really is the sort of guiding principle here.
Squid Game is hot for Halloween. Just check Instagram. Odds are you'll have one of these characters at your door come trick or treat. Tony Aiello, CBS 2 News.
The Squid Game series on Netflix is rated TV-MA, but kids are learning about it through online games like Roblox, which feature their own versions of Squid Game. If you like to debate what Halloween candy is the best, this interactive map might help you make your case. It shows the most popular holiday treat in every state. CandyStore.com says it used 14 years worth of data to put together the map. For many states, some kind of chocolate Halloween candy is the top pick. Montana is notable because the winner there is bubblegum. When we come back, we'll have a quick look at your sports. Stay tuned.
Fitty Sports has been serving its communities, local high schools, youth commissions, clubs, and other businesses since 1984. We specialize in trophies, screen printing, sporting goods, embroidery, office apparel, uniforms, hats, t-shirts, and more. Regardless of the size of your project, you will have the full participation and dedication of our design team. No job is too big or too small, keeping you involved every step of the way so that your vision is our design. Stop into Finney Sports or call us to see what we can do for you.
Welcome to PS Sports, I'm Harrison Gereau. This pair of Michael Jordan sneakers broke a record at auction over the weekend. The Nike Airship sneakers were auctioned off Sunday by Sotheby's. They say cards collector Nick Fiorella paid $1.47 million for them. The price tag set a new world record for the most money ever paid at auction for a pair of sneakers. Jordan wore the red and white footwear in 1984 during the 5th game of his rookie season with the Chicago Bulls. Dozens of anti-vax protesters demonstrated outside the Barclays Center before the Brooklyn Nets home opener Sunday. They stood in support of Nets guard Kyrie Irving, who has been banned from playing there because he refused the COVID vaccine. A sign outside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn said New York City requires everyone entering the building to be vaccinated. One of the protesters was a New York teacher who chose not to return to work because of the city's vaccine mandate. A small group of the protesters even broke through the barriers and tried to barge into the arena about an hour before tip-off. It's not clear if the protest affected attendance, but there were many empty seats in the arena for the game, which the Nets lost to Charlotte. Olympians are going to be rocking a classic look at next year's Winter Games. Ralph Lauren has revealed the gear Team USA athletes will don during the closing ceremonies in Beijing. The get-up includes a buffalo plaid hooded puffer jacket for all Olympians. The men will get fleece pants, while the women will be outfitted with fleece leggings. Sustainability is a big part of these official outfits. The jackets are stuffed with recycled down. The gloves and boots use recycled polyester, and the sweaters and hats are woven from U.S.-grown wool. The Winter Olympic Games are slated to begin February 4th and run through the 20th. That's all for tonight's sports. Let's throw it back to the desk with Josh.
Thank you, Harrison. It looks like that's all the time we have for tonight. Be sure to check out the Plattsburgh State TV YouTube page to watch all our programming, including this broadcast. You can catch the first 2 episodes of The Search, produced by William Holloway, tonight at 7:30 on our YouTube page. Now, whether you're watching from home or on the go, you can find PS News on social media at PS Newsroom and all our shows from PS TV at Plattsburgh State TV. Have a good night and a happy Halloween, Plattsburgh.